thinking you get.
Hey guys, what is going on? Happy Friday, baby. We made it to another Friday. Awesome. So, as I mentioned yesterday, we're just going to go over that review sheet that I posted for you yesterday. Guys, just a quick reminder. I do not have any due dates for my work. So, if you are running behind, or if you are got a lot of work going on in your other classes, don't worry about my assignments being turned in on time. There is no on time. You do them when you can do them. Turn them in when you can turn them in. I would suggest that you try not to put them off for too long so that you don't get behind. Okay, but if you are struggling with other classes and you need extra time for my stuff, you take it, okay, and turn it in whenever you can. All right, so for today, we're just going to go over that practice sheet that I gave you. Remember, you do not have to turn it in. There is extra credit on there that if you want, you can turn in, but it's up to you. You're not penalized if you don't turn it in, right? This is just practice. So let's take a look at it. I already got the windows set up for us. So here we go. Booyah. All right, so first question. F of x, 2x plus 3, g of x, 3x plus 4, and h of x is what happens when you multiply them together. So find out what happens when you multiply them together. Easy enough. 2x plus 3 times 3x plus 4. Set up a distribution. We know how to do this. 2 times 3 is 6x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. Then we go the next one. 3 times 3x is 9x. And then 3 times 4 is 12. We just combine the two like terms that are in the middle. We get 6x squared plus 17x plus 12. Easy, guys, easy. That's from way back. All right, number 2. Lily uses a function f of x equals 23,000. 23,000 times 1.021 to the x power. Which of the following, so it models the annual growth of her city. Which of the following represents Lily's estimate in 8 years? All right, guys, where's the variable? There's only one variable in this problem, right there, x. And what are they giving us to put in place of x? They said it, 8 years, so the number 8. So we're replacing this with 8. So 1.021 to the 8th power. All right. If you were to plug that into your calculator, if you plug that into your calculator, 1.021 to the 8th power, I believe it comes out to like 1.18 and change. And then you multiply that times 23,000, you're going to get 27,160. Okay. So it would be answer C. Look, guys, this is really simple. They only give us one variable in the equation, and then they tell us what number to plug into it. Then all we have to do is just punch numbers into the calculator. No skill required there at all. All right, real simple. Scatter plot below shows linear trend. Obviously, it's a straight line. Golf carts, a company repaired in February. And the line of best fit. So, guys, remember, line of best fit, when you have dots like that, you want to try to get the line in the center of that cluster of dots, which is what they did here on this graph. Write a function that models the number of golf carts repaired. All right, so it's a linear function. It's a straight line. What's the equation of a straight line? Y equals mx plus b. M is what? The slope. B is the y-intercept, right? So let's start with the y-intercept. Where does that line of best fit cross the y-axis? At 0. So guess what? There's not going to be a plus b. It's 0. So now we just have to find the slope. Well, what is slope? Slope is rise over run. So let's count how many boxes they go up. It goes up 1, and how far does it run to the right? Got to be careful here, because look, the x-axis goes 3, 6, 9, 12. The y-axis goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So for every time it goes up 1, which is my rise, how far does it go over? It goes over 3 spaces, not 1. It's 1 box, but since they numbered it that way, it's 3 spaces. So guess what? My slope is 1/3, and my answer is 1/3 x. And what is the meaning of the slope? Well, what it means is it takes them 3 days to repair 1 golf cart. So every time you go over 3 days, you go up and you look and see they only fixed 1. So that's what that means. All right, number 4. J.K. Rowling and R.L. Stine are both reading The Hunger Games. J.K. reads 35 pages every 2 hours. Stine reads 45 every 3. That's slow. Wow. What is the rate of change? Guys, rate of change, a.k.a. the slope. How much is 1? I don't care about how long it takes, 4 hours, 3 hours. What's 1? That is a rate of change. So J.K. reads 35 pages every 2 hours. What's 1? I don't care about 2. I need to know 1. How do I find that? A divide. 35 divided by 2 will give me 1. And that's 17.5. R.L. Stine reads 45 pages every 3 hours. So what's the rate of change? I don't care about 3 hours. I need 1 hour. So if he reads 45 and 3, how many is 1? Well, 15. You just divide it. So there you go. Rate of change for both. If The Hunger Games is 355 pages, who will finish the book first? Well, guys, come on. Who's going to finish the book first? This guy. Who's that? J.K. Why? Because she reads this many pages an hour. R.L. Stine reads that many pages an hour. Come on. It doesn't ask me how many hours. It just says who's going to finish first. I don't care if the book's 5,000 pages long. If that person's reading more per hour than this one, guess what? They're going to finish first. So, easy. Solve the quadratic. This is actually a typo. If you tried to do this, great. If you didn't, don't worry, because it's a typo. It should say, it says 2x to the third plus 4x squared plus 2x. It should be minus 4x squared. Little typo action. So I don't really, if you didn't do that, don't worry about it. But if you wanted to know what the answer is, look, can we take something out from each of these? Yes, we can divide out a 2x because all 3 terms share 2x. So I'm going to take 2x out. When I do that, this becomes x squared. This becomes negative 2x, and this becomes 1. Now I can factor this. I can do my box if I want to. If you guys remember back in the old box days, what goes in here? X squared. Down here, 1. 1 times 1 is 1. What are my factors of 1? Well, it's either 1 times 1 or negative 1 times negative 1. Which pair of factors, when added together, make negative 2x or negative 2? The negative ones. Negative 1 and negative 1 is negative 2. So this becomes minus x. This becomes minus x, or minus 1, I'm sorry. Minus 1x. Right? And I ended up with what? Greatest common factor is x. And this is minus 1, x, and minus 1. So I get 2x, x minus 1 here, x minus 1 here. And there you go. That would be how it would solve out. Simple. All right? All right. 6, 7, and 8. Those were your bonus questions. So let's skip down to 9. Do the bonus last. Solve the equation using quadratic formula. Here we go. Don't forget, guys, you need to memorize this at some point. If you're taking Algebra 2 next year, you need to know what the quadratic formula is. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times a times c divided by 2a. All right, so let's look at, they have x squared plus 14x plus 33. So let's replace the b first. My b is 14. That's what's in front of the x. So that becomes 14. This becomes 14. My a is 1. this becomes 1, and this becomes 1. And C is 33, big numbers. So let's simplify. What is 14 squared? 14 times 14 is 196. So I got the square root of 196 minus 4 times 1 is 4. And 4 times 33 is 132. So minus 132. So what's 196 minus 132? It is 64. And guess what the square root of 64 is? 8. So I have negative 14 plus or minus 8 divided by 2. What's negative 14 plus 8? Is negative 6. Negative 6 divided by 2, negative 3. So that's one answer. Remember, quadratics can have two answers because it's a U shape. That means they can cross the x-axis twice. Negative 14 minus 8 is negative 22 divided by 2 is negative 11. So there's your two answers, negative 3, negative 11. All right. Bonus, which is I'm sure why you guys are all here. Get that extra credit points. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do number 6. You guys have to do 7 and 8. So find the vertex. This was from yesterday's video. The vertex and the axis of symmetry. So we have this. Y equals, this is number 6, x squared minus 6x minus 8. In order to find what x equals, negative b divided by 2a. Negative 6 is positive 6. Divided by 2 times 1 is 2. So guess what? X equals 3. Now I have x. Now remember, vertex is a point. X, comma, y. Your coordinates. Here's my x. 3, comma. What's my y? Well, y is this. X squared minus 6x minus 8. So how do I figure that out? Well, look, I got x right here. It's 3. So I'm going to replace this with 3. This with 3. And that's it. 3 squared is 9, right? 9. Minus 18, minus 8. 9 minus 18 is negative 9. Negative 9 minus 8 more is negative 17. So my vertex is 3, comma, negative 17. What is the axis of symmetry? It's whatever the x is. The axis of symmetry is 3. Whatever x is your axis of symmetry. So there you go. I gave you a bonus question. Now, if you got to do 7 and 8 on your own, and here's what you do. You're just going to send me an email. You've got my email address, and you're going to put down in the email as the body of the email, number 6, this and this. And then you're going to do the same for number 7. You're going to give me a point and the axis of symmetry. Same thing with number 8. Put that in your email. Send it to me. You get extra credit before the weekend. And that's it, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Don't forget to comment on this video down below. Put your name and your period number so I can count you for attendance. Send me your extra credit if you want to. It's not mandatory. You don't get penalized if you don't, but you get some bonus points if you do. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.